Hello students, welcome to AriserTalent. Today we are going to discuss our next topic, water. As we all know, water is very essential for the life and it is inexhaustible natural resource. Okay, and we know that we need water for many activities like drinking, washing, bathing, cooking, etc. Beside it, we need it for irrigation of crops and we need this water for our metabolic reactions in the body. Thus we can say water is very essential for the life. Okay, so as if I talk about water, then we know our land is covered with water. 75% of the earth is surrounded by water. Thus we can say 97% of water. If we are having 100% of water, then from 100%, 97 of water is in seas and ocean, which we cannot use because we cannot digest the salt in excess amount. Okay, rest 2.5% water, 97.5% water is found in seas and ocean. Rest 2.5% water is used as fresh water, and some amount of this fresh water goes down into the ground, and some water is found on the land in the form of ponds, rivers and lakes. Okay, so let's talk about water. It's very essential for life and it's an inexhaustible natural resource. Clear? 97.5% of water is found in sea and oceans. Okay, and only 2.5% of water is usable as fresh water. Generally, we cannot use this sea and ocean water because it contains salt which we cannot digest in excess. Okay, and 2.5% of water is usable as fresh water, and from this fresh water, some water goes under the ground, which is known as underground water, and some is found on the land surface in the form of lakes, rivers and ponds. Okay, so let's discuss about the underground water, or we can say this groundwater. How do we get this groundwater? If we talk about groundwater, then the rainfall is the main source or major source of groundwater. Thus we can say rainfall is major source of groundwater or water. Okay, then what happens when it rains? Some water runs off and some water gets evaporated and some water is absorbed by the soil. Now what happens? Suppose these are soil particles. Okay, and we all know that soil has some air spaces or pores in it. Okay, suppose these are air spaces in it. Soil has some air spaces. Okay, these air spaces or pores are known as capillaries. So these are known as capillaries. These are capillaries. Okay. What happens when the water comes here on the surface and it comes in the contact with the soil? It goes down into the soil through these capillaries. When it goes down through these capillaries, okay, then this is called capillary water. Capillary water. Okay, and some amount of water makes thin layer. Here it can make thin layer near the soil particles. Okay, and it's known as hydroscopic water. Okay, and some amount of water here get mixed with the soil particles. Okay, and make chemical bond with them. It's known as combined water. Okay, it's making chemical bond with soil particles, so it's known as combined water. So thus these all three forms of water are known as groundwater. Thus we can say groundwater has all these three forms. Clear? Now next we will discuss about rainwater harvesting. Our next topic is rainwater harvesting. What is rainwater harvesting? Rainwater harvesting is a technique to store water. Which water? Rainwater. Okay, thus we can say it's a technique to store water by making spatial structures. What kind of spatial structures? By digging out the wells or by lagoons. Okay, so this is a technique to store water by making spatial structures like well, lagoons, etc. Okay, but why do we harvest the water? Why do we use different techniques to harvest water? To increase level of underground water, okay, or thus we can say to increase the level of water. Okay, and why is it beneficial only for the pores? No, it is beneficial for all the living beings. Okay, it can be beneficial for pores, it can be beneficial for all the human beings, all the living beings. Even it can be beneficial for the people which are living in the areas which have scanty of water. Okay, now what are the advantages of rainwater harvesting? If we talk about the advantage, then it reduces the loss of run water, reduces the loss of runoff of water. Okay, and if we will store the water, then we can use them when there is dry days or when there is dry season. We can use the water in dry seasons. What are dry seasons? As we know, we are having monsoon only for few months in India. Okay, rest of the seasons are known as dry seasons because we do not receive the rainfall. At that time, we can use that stored water. Okay, so this is the main advantage of rainwater harvesting. Now we will talk about water pollution, how the water gets polluted. Okay, so next topic will be water pollution. Thus we studied how is water important for us and how can we store it, and now we will study what is water pollution. Pollution means when the harmful substances are added into something that it pollute the environment. Then if we talk about water pollution, then if harmful substances are added in the water, then it pollute the water, and such process is known as water pollution. Thus we can say an undesirable change in the physical, chemical or biological property or quality of water due to addition of harmful substances in it. Okay, it's known as water pollution. Is known as water pollution. Okay. Okay, now as we talk about the water pollution, means substances which pollute the water, and these substances are known as pollutants. So thus we can say what are pollutants? Means substances that pollute the water. Okay, now these pollutants are classified into three groups. These pollutants are classified into three groups: physical pollutant, Okay, it can includes oil spills and heat. It includes oil spills and heat. So these are known as physical pollutants. Second one is chemical pollutant. Chemical pollutant means when we add different chemicals, they may be organic substances, inorganic. Okay, when they are added into the water like soap, detergent, etc., then they pollute the air. Thus kind of pollutants are known as chemical pollutant. Like soap, detergent, harmful chemicals organic or inorganic, substances. Okay, and another is, the third one is biological pollutant or biopollutant. Okay, like virus, bacteria, fungi and algae. What are the examples? Virus, bacteria, fungi, algae, etc. Okay, so these are known as biological pollutants. Now we will discuss what are the main source of water pollutants. Okay, so let's discuss what are the main sources of water pollution. We studied what is pollution. Now we will study how the water get polluted. What are the main sources by which the water gets polluted? As we all know, the main source of water pollution, because all the human activities causes water pollution. Okay, so let's discuss what are the main sources of water pollution. Now we will talk about main sources of water pollution. Water pollution. Okay. Number one, we will talk about seaways. Okay, it is the filthy matter which is carried by drains to the water bodies. Okay, it's carried by underground drains into the water bodies, and then it pollutes the water bodies into water bodies. Okay, and pollute it. Okay, another is industrial waste. Next source is industrial waste. Industrial waste. Generally, we all know industrial waste contains lots of harmful chemical. Mainly, it contains acid and alkalis. And when this industrial waste is introduced into water bodies, then it pollute it. Generally, it contains acid and alkali. When it is introduced into water bodies or such waste is thrown into the water bodies, then they get polluted. Okay, and such chemicals, such waste containing harmful chemicals is thrown into water bodies and pollute it, and it pollutes water bodies. Okay, thus we can say industrial waste pollute the water. Next, soap and detergent. soap and detergents. They also pollute water bodies, and such water is known as grey water. The water which contains soap and detergent in it known as grey water. Soap and detergent are added to water bodies, or we can say when water containing soap and detergent are added to water bodies, when water containing soap and detergent are added to water bodies, it become or they become polluted. Okay, and such water which contains soap and detergent is known as grey water. Water containing soap and detergent is called grey water. Okay. Next, pesticides and insecticides, or we can say fertilizers also. Fertilizers and pesticides. Okay, when farmers add fertilizers to the crops, into the crops for crop production, and when it rains, then this fertilizers and pesticides get mixed with the water, rainwater, and then that water flows into the water bodies and then they pollute it. Okay. Used for crop production, get mixed with rainwater and goes to water bodies and pollute it, means pollute water. Okay, as we all know, oceans and seas are main source for shipping. Okay, then what happens? We all know when the oil spills from the ships, then it pollutes the water. Thus we can say oil spilling is also a type of water pollutant. Oil spilling from ships, okay, also pollute the water. So these are the main water pollutants which pollute the water bodies. What are they? Sewage, industrial waste, soap and detergents, fertilizer and pesticides, and oil spilling from the ships. Thank you.